Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and today I want to discuss the future of YouTube, where I think it's heading, and what can save content creators on YouTube. Now, what can be the saving grace of this downward spiral that we're seeing of YouTube? First off, we're getting this new branch of YouTube coming in, which is YouTube TV. What happens? How do people benefit from YouTube, period? Well, it's a money maker. Advertising. That's where mainstream TV, like your generic TV, which has been the powerhouse of money forever, and then enters the internet, enters social stuff, enters YouTube, starts to take gradually away from TV. And TV providers and things like that are losing money, and then we're here where we are now. But advertising, it pays the bills. Like whenever you're watching TV and a commercial comes on, and you're watching the news, your local news, those advertisements there, your local advertisements, they're paying the news. Like the news is given a 30-minute slot, and they can do whatever they want on their network. If they're on CBS, NBC, whatever, ABC, their 30-minute block is theirs. Like that advertising there, some of that local stuff that is shown inside their newscast block with their advertisements there, that money goes to them. And then some of the big advertisements that are there may go to the network too. So it's a sharing thing in there, but money's being made from advertising. Advertisers, they pay very little to advertise on YouTube. It's lucrative for the people that are putting the advertisements on there, because it's nowhere near as expensive as it is on mainstream TV. So we'll use YouTube as a baseline. So that's zero. That's our standard as far as how much it costs advertisers to advertise, and then we'll talk about YouTube TV and mainstream TV. But our baseline right now is YouTube. So it's been mentioned before that it can be 5 to 10 times the price of what it would cost to advertise on YouTube on a hit channel. Like one that's got like 5 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers, to advertise on there, versus TV. There's like a 5 to 10 times difference in money, that less than TV. So it's really expensive for advertisers to advertise on TV. So that's why some networks that may start on YouTube, and I think one or two maybe have, like HBO something, I think might have had its grassroots in YouTube and decided to make the leap over to TV because they were getting 10 times the money from the advertisers. So why not? It makes sense. So anyway, you've got YouTube TV now that's coming into play. They're going to be somewhere in the middle because they're only allowed to stream 720p content. And how YouTube TV works, I think it's going to start with 30-something channels. This is in beta testing pretty much, and we're the guinea pigs, and you'll pay for that. But you can use Chromecast, and you can cast to your TV or whatever from your device. So basically what you'll do is you're like, okay, I want to watch this. Let me cast it to my TV. If your TV's a smart TV, it'll show up on there if you're on the same network as your TV is. So if your phone is connected to the same Wi-Fi as your TV or any other device that will accept a cast, it'll pop up on there, and you just select whatever device you want to cast to. You hit that, it'll pull it up right in there. Now, it's not casting from your phone. It's going and pulling up what you're looking at on the internet. And it's kind of like a remote, like a wireless remote. You can pause and play, fast forward, skip, and stuff like that from your device. It'll replicate and duplicate what you're doing onto the TV. You can also, on YouTube TV, use the DVR function. Now, that's cool. You can look ahead and go, okay, this is playing on this time or whatever. I want to record this show. And you can record that on your device. So that's cool. And then you can hit play, and it'll sling that up there too. So you can mark that, record that, and use that as a DVR, which is very cool in itself, because that kind of goes around what your services that you're paying for. Because I downgraded my satellite. I use Dish Network, and I did the Flex, America's Pick Flex or Flex Pick or something like that. It's $35 a month. Okay, that's not bad. Add $10 for your local channels. It's $45. Okay. And then you got to pay, what was it, like 20 something dollars, I think. I think it's 20 something dollars in just hardware fees, like tax, my DVR, and my two little Joeys. My two little boxes are on separate TVs. So all those charges added up, I think it was like $79. So all of a sudden I go from America's Flex pick of $35 goes up to 79 bucks. So with YouTube TV, you're bypassing all the hardware. You already have that on your device as it sits. There's your hardware. You're bypassing that price already, and then you're going straight to the meat of it. But somehow there's been this agreement, and I don't know if they looked at a blanketed bandwidth of internet providers and they're like, for a sure thing right now, let's go with 720p. So they're going to go with 720p, and that's what you can sling to your TV. So if you're working with 4K and you're like, dang, I'm going to lose my 4K content, we'll just buy Blu-rays and stuff. Most of the stuff you're watching anyway on TV is probably 720p anyway, but it's easy to work with 720. There's going to be advertisements on YouTube TV. They're going to be in between, somewhere between YouTube, the free stuff, and the mainstream TV. So we got 10 times the baseline of YouTube for advertising. They're probably going to fall into 3 to 5 times the price right in there. And so your price is going to come down less too to entice you to go to that. And advertising is going to be, if it kicks off and does really well, which I think it will, because this is totally targeting people that's trying to cut the cord. But it's going to hurt us, the content creators. I think so. Because anybody that's probably got over 1 million subscribers, they're probably on a network. Now, if you don't know this, there's a bunch of networks within YouTube that will reach out to content creators and ask you to join their network. Every week I have some kind of email or message or spam on one of my videos that YouTube catches and isolates so nobody sees it on the comments. But they're like, hey man, reach out to Freedom or whoever it is, whatever network it is. You know, we'd love to have you come check us out. We'll boost your subscribers. You know, it may be a 60-40 split, something like that, which the money you make off monetizing, you know, you would get 60%, we'd get 40. I mean, something like that. Who knows what their stipulations are, what the contract is. But if you're going to do it, I heard the best way to do it is do a month-to-month contract with a network. And I've heard people say, oh, it boosted me up. I had 1,000, I had 1,200 subscribers. Now I've got 6,000. But then you kind of plateau out at some point and you're missing money. Then you try to get out of your contract. They won't let you out of it because you signed a 2-year contract. The networks exist, just like network television. Networks have weaseled their way into our lives on YouTube, which is a free platform. Unless you're trying to monetize, make money, then you got these networks with all these promises, empty promises, a lot of them. But if you get up into the 1 million subscriber land up in there, you probably do need a network because they'll also handle all your copyright claims, and they'll help you on all this stuff. They'll help you with all the problems you might have. And they're going to work with you because you're a big money maker for them, because they're getting a little cut, a little commission off your income. But you need that kind of help whenever you're working with that many subscribers. You need a little help when you're on your own. So networks in that area are fine. But I think the network shift is going to move over to YouTube TV because there's some providers that's not going to want to leave the TV, the mainstream TV, because that will probably stay at the peak. But it could be a 60-40 split, like 40% of the people that used to watch TV may go to YouTube TVs. The other old school people may stick with their TVs forever. But until those are weeded out right now, you know, it'll be a divide. So you may have like networks, the big networks that have a lot of big content creators, or they may just go over to YouTube TV and bring the big powerhouse channels with them and create networks on YouTube TV. And then you're going to leave all these people, like the YouTube Underground is what you're going to end up having that's free, that where you're going to go there and then you'll find all your lower tiered content creators. So it's going to be a big divide. It's going to be a big shift in everything. And I hope that the YouTube creators like me aren't bullied out of the situation. And by bullied out means we're going to be so restricted on what we can talk about. Did a Mark Hamill video about why Mark Hamill hates the new Star Wars. It could be taken down. Why? I'm not going to monetize that, but it could be taken down. And they can totally do whatever they want, and there's nothing that we can do. H3H3 Productions is in a lawsuit over a YouTube video. and they're spending $50-something thousand a month battling that. We can't do that. As individual content creators, we are a channel. Like, this is a channel, a YouTube channel. We're our own channel. So we can be bullied. We can be looked at and say, we don't like your content. And we're going to like force this lawsuit that you're not going to go through with because you can't afford to. So we're going to automatically win. We're going to bully the hell out of you. So free speech is just going to be squashed. All this fake news crap, that's the right of people to sit on here and tell you what they think about something that's happening. YouTube TV, right? YouTube. We're tubing together. We have channels. We have opinions and a voice. That stuff's gone after YouTube TV really sets off and kicks off. There's too much money in it. There's too many advertisers that don't want their content advertised on channels that are randomly picked, that they don't like the content, that they don't want that to misrepresent the product. So it's going to be a huge battle. Unless you're just a generic, if you're a tech reviewer, you're fine. If you're a product reviewer, you're fine. But if you're basing your channel on iffy subjects and topics and things like that, you're probably going to go away because you're going to be beat down so much. There's going to be no more money in it for you. And then you're just doing it out of the love of content creating. That may go away. So there could be a saving grace that moves in. You've got Amazon and Netflix. Those are powerhouses. Amazon, I know because I've been dealing with for a while on product reviews and being a reviewer for Amazon too. So you can have a profile set up. They've really worked on honing that, and they really made some good advancements in it where you can like set up a profile. You can be followed by people. So all of a sudden you could gather a following if you're a strong reviewer on Amazon, and you can have your videos all collected there, and you can go to their profile page and see all products reviewed. So that's kind of like an early beginnings of maybe a YouTube or a review video site for product reviews, unboxings and stuff like that, or unboxing sites if those are popular. So that could be an early adoption thing, and that could really tack on to this. But then you run into being paid. Like if you're trying to get paid and money or free products, like Amazon hammered down on people sending out free products. Can't do that anymore, or they frown on it heavily, and they don't want to know if you're doing that because they're trying to get away from false reviews, because people were complaining that, hey, there's too many products being sent out for free. I got free products, but also was an honest reviewer too. If I didn't like it, I said I didn't like it, and then I rated it fairly. Some people wouldn't doing that because they didn't want to stop receiving the free stuff. And Amazon stopped having that on their site, and I think at that point, that's when they backed out of the whole video thing, because really it's just stagnant now. Nothing's really progressing like it was. Netflix could be a saving grace, and you're like, well, that's just shows, originals, and movies. How are they going to contribute? I think if Netflix created a free thing where you're paying for Netflix now, $10, if it could go up to $12 to support this, I'm fine with that, and I think everybody would too once you see the result. And I think if they created like a Netflix Underground, I know I called YouTube Underground earlier, and I think Amazon has an app Underground thing or something, but if Netflix, we'll call it for the sake of calling it this, Netflix Underground. Now what that would be is short films, movies that content creators have made from YouTube or something like that. They could collectively move over to this new platform, upload all their short films, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour and a half independent films, all this stuff that people's been putting on YouTube for years. All of a sudden there's a new platform that's inviting them to come over and say, put your short films over here. We're still dancing in the independent films. We're still showing movies and clips and stuff like that. Now we're not going crazy like YouTube is collectively, like with news and product reviews or nothing like that, but at least we're branching out and we're offering something. And maybe make it somehow where you can monetize that too, and maybe get paid somehow, and let that increase in the monthly subscription from $10 to $12 for Netflix or something. Let that $2 shave off and go to content creators to entice them to come make these short films and stuff and upload them for free. And then somehow you can incorporate a yearly awards program for Netflix, Netflix Awards or something like that, where we're going to lift up these new content creators or filmmakers, young filmmakers that have gone out and done the work and uploaded this stuff for free and is getting paid off viewers, and maybe you could subscribe to these people too and start like that, start from scratch. That would be freaking sweet, because I would spend a lot of time on there looking through short films. I love going to conventions for short films. It's a genius thing to do. A lot of times the people are there and you can like talk with them, and especially if you're like into that stuff. If you're into being a content creator, you can like talk with them and meet them after the show is over and talk with them about how they filmed this and what equipment they use, stuff like that. But anyway, make a social environment about short films. That would be freaking awesome, because Netflix, you can't beat their streaming service, period. Top tier. Them and YouTube's the best streaming devices, period. I mean, you can stream on low bandwidths on their stuff. It's great. Bottom line, this has been a long video about this, but I think you need to know the direction of where YouTube's headed. Could be a good or bad thing. I think it's going to be a bad thing. I think it's going to be a good thing for people that are not content creators, that are just trying to consume, or they're consumers. But if you're a content creator, if you lose your passion, that will at some point directly affect the consumer. So it's going to be a lose-lose in the long run of things, especially when money's involved and stuff like that from advertisers. Somebody's going to lose, and then when you turn around one day, you're going to look and go, wow, do you remember how it was? It was really great, and we're all going to lose. So that's the direction I think YouTube's heading. Somebody else right now, please, if you were able to step it up, if you can step up Netflix, that's who I would want to step it up, because they could gradually just branch out to and offer other things. Like this could be a start. Like start short films, content creators have a separate app for that. Not to interfere with Netflix, but it's all in one subscription thing. If you're subscribing to one, you get them both. But just so it's not all jumbled up and mixed up with the mainstream stuff. Anyway, this has been Isaiah's Reviews. Hope you enjoyed this. What I think. This is all my opinion, by the way. None of it's factual. So the YouTube gods don't come and get me and kick me off of your channel for bringing this up. But this is just my opinion. So thanks for watching Isaiah's Reviews. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and also subscribe, because I'm liking my new setup where I can just come down here and do this. It makes the content creating easier, process easier to edit and stuff like that, which means I'm going to do more of it, so that's a cool thing. And share me to all your social sites. It helps get me to places that I can't get to them on. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again right here on Isaiah's Reviews.